Good morning. It's 2019, and we're back with Random Thoughts with B. Watts. Wanted to discuss something with you this morning. I have an issue that seems to be related to a lot of other issues, and it seems like this issue is probably a key factor in a lot of things that are going on, but it seems like our society keeps jumping on the symptoms. And some of the things that are symptoms are plaguing our society are pretty bad, but I think this issue sort of is the key to a lot of those problems and solving a lot of those problems. It seems that in the minority community, the African American and Latino communities, that as we know, we have a lot of talented people. People who are talented in sports, people that are talented in music and drama and art and so forth. That's no secret to us. When someone is very talented, but they've lived a life of poverty or a low-income life, it's very hard for them sometimes to transition to a life of making a lot of money if they do it all of a sudden. You've seen this with a lot of artists and sports figures. You see a young man who's gone from birth to high school, barely making it, and then they get some big contract with the NFL or the NBA, and all of a sudden they're not doing what they're supposed to do because they have all this money, and they're shocked at what this money can do for them. The problem is that when you have bad habits in a life of poverty, money doesn't take those habits away. Money seems to expose those habits and make them even bigger than they were, because now you can afford to do the things that you might not have been able to do before. And I think that Hollywood and the sports industry are capitalizing on that with our people. For example, let's look at, don't even want to say it, but let's look at R. Kelly. R. Kelly grew up in Chicago. Most black people that I know that live in Chicago, I mean, some of them are well off, but most of them are not rich. I know he didn't have the kind of money he had as an artist. He has an affinity for young girls. Now, before I move on, let me tell you that I'm not condoning anything R. Kelly did, and I'm not supporting him in this. What I'm saying is that there's another problem we need to look at. Yes, his guilt is not in question to me. We know what he did, and we've known for a while. So that's not the issue that I'm speaking of. But this man, great singer, pretty good entertainer, good on stage. Somebody took him and knew that he had a problem, because even back when he was in the public announcement and he had a song called Vibe, he said at the end of the song, even little Aaliyah got that vibe. Who's little Aaliyah? Why are we talking about a little girl? Obviously, she was 13 or 14 at that time, because later on he married her and she was 15. He gave us clues. He's the Pied Piper. Pied Piper is somebody who entices children to follow them. All of these things were clues, and we saw what was going on with him. But somebody took him and said, we're going to make money off of you until your habit becomes so bad that we can't keep making money off of you, or that we have to throw you to the wolves. The same with Bill Cosby. Why would somebody have been raping white women back in the 60s? When you killed Martin Luther King, you killed Stokely Carmichael, you killed Malcolm X, you couldn't get Bill Cosby for raping white women, and you killed these guys for nothing but standing up for black people's rights? Somebody was making money off of it, and they held him in safety until there was a time that they couldn't do it anymore. There are people taking our talented people, using them, exposing them, and then tossing them away when they're no longer useful, or when their habits have become too much and society can't bear it anymore. It's a problem that we need to address. It makes it even more important for us to start taking care of our own, because nobody is taking care of them. Yes, their problems are big. Yes, these are disgusting things that are happening. But just like somebody like Jeffrey Dahmer, if you knew him as a kid and you saw him and he was biting kids every day, then you would get him some help for biting, because then maybe later he wouldn't be eating people. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm not saying, again, that R. Kelly was right. But if when he showed that he had an affinity for young girls, somebody put him in an institution and stopped him from making music at the time and got him some help, maybe he wouldn't have sex slaves later. That's just a progression of the problem that was there before. But because somebody was capitalizing, they allowed it. And the crazy thing is, they didn't hold any of these things back as secrets. They let it out, little by little. You heard about him urinating on people. You heard about him doing all of these crazy things, being with young girls, all of this. And his music said it. His music was a cry for help every time. So we need to find a way to look at our artists, to educate our people who have talents, and to find out when they have behaviors that are antisocial and try to get them help immediately when it's a small sign of it. Let's not wait until they become such criminals or felons that now we have to toss them away. It's not a thing of, oh, you're trying to destroy a black man or you're trying to do this and that. No. Once you get to this level, it's a problem. You do need to sit down. But let's not wait till they get to this point. Let's see the problem early and take care of our people. What happened to it takes a village? We're supposed to surround these people and help them. Let's not egg them on and push them on and keep doing things that allow them to say, oh, well, obviously what I'm doing is not a problem. Nobody's saying nothing about it. They still treat me like I'm the bomb. Let's help them out. Let's come together, people, because as you see, things are going down in a really bad way right now, and if we don't come together soon, we're going to have some serious problems. That's just my random thought. I'm B. Watts.